Hey, thanks for tuning into the podcast. I'm here with Michaela Sylvester. She's actually a former student of mine, and she is currently out in the construction management field. So, one of the things that I'm aiming to do through this podcast is kind of to promote the trades. And so, I thought she would be somebody that would be a lot of fun to talk to. So, Michaela, thanks so much for doing this. Tell us a little bit about your background. What's your current job title, and where do you work?
Yeah, thanks for having me. So I'm currently a project engineer at Cross Anderson Construction Company. A little bit about the company. We're family owned, headquartered in Minneapolis. We have a couple locations in the Midwest. We specialize in healthcare, K-12 education, apartment buildings. We kind of do a little bit of everything.
Awesome. What inspired you to go into construction and project management when you were in high school?
So in high school, I thought I was actually going to do something in healthcare, like physical therapy, but I worked at a nursing home for some time, and I just decided that that wasn't fit for me. I'm a little bit of a germ freak, so I don't think that would have panned out very well for me. But I started at Mankato State, actually in the marketing department, but like a couple weeks in, I just was like, this is not for me. So I kind of thought about what I wanted out of a job, and I eventually landed on architecture, but Mankato doesn't have an architecture program. So someone suggested construction management. So I was like, sure, why not? I'll try it out. So I jumped into that the next semester, and classes were challenging all throughout school, but it was a good challenge, a challenge that I really enjoyed. So um, I stuck with it, and now I'm now I'm doing it.
Nice. You kind of touched on this a little bit already, but can you talk a little bit further about what that degree program was like? What types of classes did you take? And I'm assuming they got you hopefully hands-on out in the field with professionals early on, so you could kind of get a taste of it before you got too far into it.
Yeah, for sure. The construction management program at Mankato State is actually nationally ranked as one of the best ones, and I had no idea until I started the program that they were, but they really live up to that title. The professors are all super great, super supportive. I have great relationships with all of them. Still keep in touch to them a year after graduation. We kind of touch a little bit on every aspect of construction. Um, in the classes, we do like 2D, 3D modeling with like AutoCAD softwares. We do some mechanical and electrical work, estimating, safety. Safety was one of my favorite classes. But besides the classes, there's two construction organizations, the Student Association and then the Women's Association. And a lot of students are involved in both. They host a lot of great fun activities, and then educational activities, and then a lot of networking activities with industry members. Um, our connection to the industry is super huge. We have an industry advisory board made up of like 50 industry members that represent all different companies. Most of them are alumni, but they kind of help form the program. They help fund different activities for all the students, such as site visits, site tours. We do a lot of those, mostly around the Mankato area, but a couple times a year they like to bring students up to the Twin Cities. One of my favorite site tours was actually we went to visit the steel erector at who was doing the Minnesota Treetop Trail in Apple Valley at the Minnesota Zoo. So that
Okay.
was a really cool project to go see. So yeah,
Awesome.
the program is awesome. Highly
So
recommend it.
yeah, in addition to the path you took, it seems to me like there's a lot of avenues people can go down once they have this certification. So what are some other people that you went through the program? What are they out doing as a result of, studying the same program you did at MSU?
Yeah, obviously a lot of them go the project management route, kind of like I did, working for a general contractor or subcontractor. A lot of other people do estimating, so they work in pre-construction, working with contractors and architects and owners, trying to figure out how to work with the budget that they have, um, things like that. A lot of people actually go into sales, or business development. That's another big thing, people do. Um, Another one would be BIM, building information modeling. So flying drones, doing clash detections, making sure that all the mechanical and electrical equipment will work together seamlessly. Um, yeah, there's a ton of different avenues. And on the other side, I work with project managers every day that have backgrounds in finance or business or engineering. So it's really it's really up to you what you want to do.
And you did, if I'm not mistaken, you did an internship through Cross Anderson first and then got hired on full time. How does it work, like where you get placed as far as an internship goes? Does a university pick that for you or do you have some say? How does that work?
Yeah, so the internship is actually required for graduation. They require 12 weeks, 480 hours of internship time, and you have to write down what you did every single day. And then they have 10 like learning objectives, like this is like you have to talk about what you did for estimating every week, and professional development is even part of that. Like, what did you do for your professional development this week? So it's actually kind of a class that you have to take. Your mentor that you're assigned to at your company, they have to fill out reviews for you and send it to the school. But the internship is all up to you. The university hosts 2 career fairs a year, which is where most students find their internships. So you go, you bring your resume, you talk to companies, you go through the interview. So the university doesn't place you. It's, your responsibility to go out and find your internship. And that's where I found my internship with KA is at the career fair. And I had a great conversation with them, had a couple interviews and got the job.
Here you are. Awesome. What are some projects you've worked on in the past and what are some things that you're currently involved in?
Yeah, so my first project ever in the industry was when I worked with KA as an intern. Are you a Twins fan?
I'm more of a hockey guy. I've been to a few Twins games, but it's not my thing.
The project I was on was actually right across the street from Target Field as an intern, right down the third baseline. You can't miss it. It's a 34-story apartment building, and then a 14-story office tower with 5 levels of underground parking. So it's one of the biggest projects KA has done in a long time. So I feel very honored that I got to work on that project for a couple months. That one's called North Loop Green. And then when I came back on full time, I started working in our K-12 department. So right now I'm working on schools specifically for one district in the North Metro. Um, this school had a referendum in 2019, I believe. And we got that referendum. It was the largest referendum at that time in Minnesota state history. Actually, there was 19 schools in the district, and the company did something with all of them. But right now, I'm working on the high school there. This high school is huge. The biggest high school I've ever been in. I kind of came on in the middle of this project. Um, Before I came on, they had a 3-story classroom addition they completed, as well as a field house, which is like going into a college field house. There's a full indoor track inside and
Yep.
5 basketball courts. It's crazy. Not to mention a whole auto shop and construction lab, welding lab. It's super
Cool.
cool. Those kids are super lucky. But now we're working on renovating the old high school that's connected to it and adding on a large auditorium and band and choir spaces. So this will finish up in October of this year. So looking forward to that. The community's super excited. So yeah.
Awesome. Very cool. I did some quick crackpot research here. You'll have to fact check me here, but based on what I found is 10.2% of Minnesota's construction workers are female. But I also read that the U.S. Department of Labor recently allocated about $5 million to support women in apprenticeship programs, which obviously is great news. Do you have any insight to share to that point, being a female in, I think it's safe to say, what was generally a largely male dominated industry, and it sounds like things are changing now, which is great. But do you have anything to talk to on that?
Yeah, I think a lot more women are in the industry than have ever been before. I know there's quite a few project managers, senior project managers that talk about how, they were the only women on the job site for years and years and years, and how it's nice to see more women in the trades and in project management and upper management responsibility roles. And I just think it's really important to, encourage more women to go into the trades and in construction in general, because we all bring a different, opinion to the table, and it just helps us all grow and fosters, new ideas. And there's a lot of great organizations out there for women in construction to support them. Um, the Association of Women Contractors I've been a part of for a couple years, and they really help out a lot of female-owned construction businesses, which is really awesome. They do a lot of great work. So there's a lot of support out there, and the industry is changing in a good way.
Yeah, excellent. What is your favorite and least favorite part of the job?
Oh, I have a lot of favorite things. I don't really have many least favorite things. Thankfully, I love my job and I work for a great company. So there's not many least favorites. I think my favorite is probably the people. One thing I learned is you really need to be a people person, good with working with people in construction, because you come across many different personalities across the job site every day. And learning how to manage them is a job of itself.
I can
But yeah,
imagine.
yeah, I would definitely say the people. I have great coworkers, very supportive, great subcontractors I work with. So I think that people aspect is my favorite part. My least favorite part, I think, we have obviously busy times of the year. We're coming up on summer, so that time's gonna be really busy. And even when we're not busy, we're still busy. So sometimes you gotta work longer hours, and that can be kind of tough sometimes. But seeing the finished product is rewarding.
Awesome. Maybe you already touched on this a little bit with the people aspect of it, but what's something you wish you understood about the field before you got into it?
I think I wish I knew that there was gonna be more support than I thought. Construction is, stereotypically like pretty hardcore industry. But like I said earlier, the industry is changing in many different ways, and there's a lot of support out there for young project managers like me, looking for opportunities and stuff. So I kind of wish I knew that, there's a spot for me at the table. I'm welcomed, things like that. I also wish I knew more about like mechanical and electrical systems, because they are a lot more complicated than I thought. I kind of wish I would have started working in the industry a little bit sooner and got more familiar with those big systems, especially ones in schools powering large schools. It's, yeah, very complicated systems. Wish I knew more about those.
Okay. Where do you see yourself professionally in 15 to 20 years from now? Do you think this is where you're gonna be, or are there greener pastures out there, or is it too early to tell?
Yeah, since I'm coming up on a year at my job, I've been kind of thinking about where I want to go in the future. And right now I'm a project engineer, so it's kind of an entry level position. Should work my way up to project manager in about 5 years. So I want to spend a good amount of time managing projects, owning my own projects, saying, hey, like I built that. Um, but I don't know. I think I really love like recruiting people into the industry, getting them, excited about construction. That's something that I did a lot in college, visiting high schools and other spots on Mankato's campus, you know, telling them about this great industry that not many people think about going into. It's I feel like it's very overlooked, especially going back to the point for women. Um, they don't really think about doing construction, but it's a great industry, very rewarding. So
We certainly need good people out in the trades and doing anything because there's obviously a labor shortage. And these, I didn't realize this till I was a homeowner, but the amount of value that I place on a plumber and an electrician and a construction is huge. And now that I've owned a home for a while and I've kind of understood a little bit more about how things work, just having people that you can have in your home and trust and know that they'll do a good job, they're worth their weight in gold. So yeah,
mhm.
it's very, very important stuff. And also jobs that a computer isn't going to be able to replace too. I think that's something to think about as well. We're always going to need people to do that hands-on work. So very important stuff. All right, I got my last question here for you. What advice would you have for young people that are considering this path, or maybe considering entering the trades after high school? What words of wisdom and encouragement could you provide?
Yeah, I would definitely say it's a very rewarding career. I mean, you get to physically see what you accomplished that day, and that feeling is just irreplaceable. And there's not many jobs that, you know, have the same type of thing. And you get paid well. Tradespeople make good money, so that's always a plug. But yeah, I would definitely say, you know, if you're interested in the industry, reach out. Obviously, you can see me. I love talking about my job. People in construction love talking about their jobs and showing others. And everyone wants more people in this industry. And like you said, good people. So um, don't be afraid. Reach out to, you know, a local contractor. Hey, can I job shadow you for a day? Um, that's super huge, and they'll really appreciate that. I know that they'll love doing that. So
Awesome. Anything else you can share with us here? I think we covered a lot of territory here.
yeah, I don't think so. I would just say again, if you're interested in going in trades or in construction management, definitely check it out. Very rewarding career. It's awesome.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for doing this, Michaela. It'll be fun to keep tabs on you and see the things you're involved in and keep doing your thing.
Yeah, thanks again for having me.
Absolutely. Have a good rest of your night.
You too.